Hey there, this is Shweta, and in today's video, we're going to talk all about ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign is my favorite email marketing platform because it offers a lot of features for a pretty affordable cost to get started with, and it's also great for beginners because it's not that difficult to learn. So if you're interested in the platform, or if you've been using the platform for a while but wanted to learn more, this is going to be the right video for you. We're going to look at the ActiveCampaign dashboard. We're going to talk about creating forms and landing pages in ActiveCampaign. Then we're going to look at automations and campaigns. And I'm also going to briefly touch on conversations in ActiveCampaign. So if you're looking to get started with this platform, I hope this video helps you. And if you've not subscribed to this channel yet, but you're interested in marketing tools and tutorials, definitely hit that subscribe button. So let's get into it.
Okay, so when you click on the link in the description, it will get you to this page, and this is where you can add your email address and get started with a free trial. So I'm just going to use a random email address right now that I have for this website just to show you what the process looks like. So I'm going to click on Start Your Free Trial. And when you start with a free trial, you actually don't need to use a credit card. So in case you forget to cancel your trial, you will not be charged because your card is not on file. So I'm just going to add all of these things, and you can, just go through this process. Uh, and then they're asking you if you're already using a different email service provider, you can fill out all of these details. And then once you are done, it'll ask you if you're using an email automation provider or CRM. I'm just going to choose Google Sheets right now. And then you'll just create a password here and click on Take Me to My Account. When you do this, your account has been set up, and now they'll provide you like with a list of things you to get started. So if you click on, this is the dashboard. So when you click on this ActiveCampaign logo, it'll take you to the dashboard. And when you click on Get Started, it'll tell you each of the steps that you should be completing in order to get set up with your account. So the first thing is they want you to verify your domain. Now again, you would use ActiveCampaign for your business. So you want to make sure you have a business email address. If you don't have one, I will link up a video here where you can create one in Bluehost if you're using Bluehost for your web hosting services, or you can also create one with G Suite, which is like Google. So definitely make sure you have a business email address. I'm going to hit on send verification email and hit send. And then also you want to provide your mailing address, because remember, if you're doing email marketing as a business, you need to provide a physical mailing address in every email. That is a law, it's a requirement. So either provide your business email or business physical mailing address, or you can have or use a PO box. So I'm just going to add something here for now. Yep. Just gonna say, got it. Okay. And then if you have contacts in a different email service provider, so for example, if you've been using MailChimp or ConvertKit or some other service provider, you might want to import your contacts into ActiveCampaign. So you can do that here. So you can just click on import. I would highly encourage you to use Google Sheets, or if you can find a connection to any of the services you have been using, but you want to transfer those contacts to ActiveCampaign, you can choose that. I just like doing it through Google Sheets because I just find it to be the easiest. So you can definitely try that out, but again, you can also use something else like type form if that is something that you have access to, or if you have your contacts in Calendly, you could do that as well. And of course, there's also the easiest way of just importing a CSV. So when you export your contacts from Mailchimp or ConvertKit, that file would be in the form of a CSV. So you could just click on import and then choose that CSV from your files on your laptop and import contacts in that way. That's also a pretty easy way to import contacts. So you might want to do that if you already have contacts. So that's for importing contacts. And then that's basically it. Those steps are kind of like the most important ones. So verify your domain, provide your mailing address, and import your contacts if you have any. Once you've done that, you can then get started, and you can set up campaigns, automations, forms, pages. There's tons you can do with ActiveCampaign. So I want to go back to the dashboard and just talk through the dashboard a little bit to make sure you know where you're at when you're in the dashboard, because again, there's lots going on. And if you're pretty new to this platform, it can get a little overwhelming. So let's go through each of these and look at what they are used for. So getting started, we just looked at this. It's just the steps you would take to get set up with the platform. And then you have contacts. This is where you'll see all of your contacts. So right now it has just created a contact for the email address that I'm using for this account. If you import contacts, they would be added here. You can also request a free migration. So ActiveCampaign offers free migration. They will help the migration of contacts, any automations, any emails, all of those things. So that's definitely a feature that's really helpful. If you've been using a different platform for a long time, you might have a lot of data in there, so you can get that transferred here. You can also manually add contacts here. Just click on add contact, and just you could add the first name, last name, email address, phone number, and you could just add an account. So account is generally used for CRM purposes. ActiveCampaign also acts as a customer relationship management platform. So if you're using that part of ActiveCampaign, you could use the account feature here. I'm just going to hit add. Once you add that contact, you can choose to add them to a certain list, to a deal. Again, deal is something that's part of CRM. You could add a tag to them. So tag is basically if you want to, if let's say you are creating a product around, or a digital product around Facebook ads, and you want to promote it to people who are interested in Facebook ads, you could use a tag that you know previously you've probably sent an email to gauge interest, and anyone who clicks on the link gets added this tag. So you have a tag called Facebook ads, and when you create this digital product and you want to promote it, you can send it to people with that tag. So it's helpful to help you send the right kind of information to the right person. I'm just going to skip for now, and you can see that that contact has been created. So that's the very basics of contacts. You can see all of your contacts here. When you click on the email of that contact, you could also edit data. So right now, this email address does not have a first name or last name, so I could add that here manually. You could also add a tag for this person. You could add them to a list. Right now, when you create your ActiveCampaign account, they create a master contact list for you, which is basically your main list. And this subscriber is part of this list, but you can also add this contact to more lists. And if you wanted to add this contact to an automation, you could do that here as well. You could also add notes if you wanted to, and all of those things, and you would also be able to see all of their activities. So I'm just going to save changes here. So that's how contacts work in ActiveCampaign. The next thing here is campaigns. So this is where you would create like one-off campaigns. So what's called broadcast, which is like you're either sending a weekly newsletter or you're sending one-off emails. This is where you would create those campaigns. The next is automations, and this is the most powerful feature in ActiveCampaign. And this is where, ActiveCampaign stands out from any other email marketing platform. We will talk about automations in a second, but this is a very powerful feature. And if you're using ActiveCampaign, or if you choose to, you know, use ActiveCampaign in the future, definitely make sure you learn automations really well, because it can be really powerful. It can help you create a lot of personalization and customization for your emails. The next is deals. This is again related to CRM. We're not covering CRM part of ActiveCampaign in detail here because it's more advanced, but deals is something you would use with the CRM. The next is conversations, again, a newer feature in ActiveCampaign. I will touch on this a little bit here because I want to make sure that you know how conversations work in ActiveCampaign. And so I'm just going to click here and start a trial for this. Very similar to what you would do with Facebook Messenger bots, but we'll talk more about this towards the end of the video. The next is list. Again, list is like a list of people. So you could create a list for like clients, past clients, or something like, YouTube interest. Generally, like if you want to create a segment of people who are interested in certain things, I would recommend using tags for that and not lists. I would keep as few lists as possible in my account, but just to show you an example, you could, create a list like this. Site is also a newer feature. The pages part of sites is a newer feature where you can create landing pages in ActiveCampaign, and the forms is basically you can create forms, so in a form that you can embed on your website. Web personalization is also very interesting, and we'll talk about it a little bit. This is where you can customize the content someone sees on your website based on certain action they've taken in the past. And then site tracking again is really interesting, where you can, track what visitors are doing in on your website and get that data back to ActiveCampaign so you can, send them relevant emails. So that was all about sites. The next is reports. Again, this is for reporting purposes. So once you start sending emails, you can see, what is the open rates, the click-through rates. You can have certain goals, deals. All of this is for CRM again, but you can definitely use the campaign's performance report to see how your campaign or your emails are performing. And then apps is basically where you would uh, connect certain apps. So you can connect ActiveCampaign to all of these popular apps. There are tons of, integrations that you can do with ActiveCampaign. So for example, if someone books an appointment with you using Acuity, you could send them an email with ActiveCampaign. So you could do that as well. And then under settings, you have again your account information. You would add your address here, any deals. If in the CRM you have any deals, you would do that here. Appearance, what is your site name? You can update that here. This is a very random site name, so you can update that here. And then you can also use a custom domain. You would have to upgrade your plan, but you can definitely use a custom domain. And developer is basically your API information. So if you want to integrate your ActiveCampaign account with a different platform like Kajabi or ClickFunnels or Kartra, you would need this API information that you will input in that other platform to connect the two platforms. Tracking, again, the website tracking that we just saw. So all of these settings, again, the main things that you have to concern yourself with is the account addresses and appearance and a domain if you wanted to set that up. So this was like just the basic dashboard. Now we can get started and talk about let's now we can get started, and let's talk about sites first, where we will create a form and also look into the landing page features. So let's talk about that. So let's first look at forms. So form is basically again very similar to, just building a form, embedding it on your website so that people can sign up on your website. So let's start by creating a form. I'm just going to choose an inline form right now. You could choose a floating bar, which would appear as a bar on your website. You could also choose a floating box, which would be like a box on the bottom right of your website that could be like almost like a pop-up. But I'm just going to go with the inline form right now, and I'm just going to name this test. And so here you can basically set this up in a way. So if someone signs up for your email newsletter, for example, use on this form, which list do you want to add them to? Or do you want to add a tag to them? Or do you want to add a deal? This is again for CRM, but tag and list are kind of like the two important things. So I want them to subscribe to the master contact list, and then I also want to add a tag. So the tag I want to add here is website sign up. And I'm just going to hit create. So now anyone signs up on this form on my website, they will get the tag and they will be subscribed to that master contact list. Now, this is where you can edit the form and make any updates. Again, I would say that the ActiveCampaign form is not the prettiest, and that's why they've introduced the pages feature where you can actually create prettier landing pages. But again, this is a very basic form. You could definitely use HTML, uh, add HTML code to like make it more pretty, but for now we'll just look at like the very basics. Sign up, so you can just edit this text, sign up for the newsletter, and then you can edit text, you can edit the submit button if you wanted to call it something else. I'll just say sign up. You could add a field if you wanted to. You could also add a custom field. So a custom field is basically, let's say if you wanted to ask someone their birthday, just because you wanted to send them discount coupons on their birthday, which like a lot of e-commerce or retail websites do, you could add that here. And that would be like a date because it's a birthday, right? So you could add that. And then you could basically drag this and add it here. It just says it cannot be added during a trial period, and this account is in trial, so I'm not able to add this, but you could just drag this here and add it to your form. And then if you want any other fields, you could add that. You can change the style, so you can change the color of the background, uh, font color, font type. You could add like border, all of these things. You could change like the button color. So you can do all of those things, and you can also add custom CSS if you wanted to. You could remove ActiveCampaign branding, so this logo would be removed. And then under options, when someone hits sign up, so when they submit this form, if you want to take them to a different page that you've created in ActiveCampaign using the pages feature, which we're going to see after this form, you could do that here, or you could just show them a thank you message that says thank you for signing up. And then this is something we've already added. We want to subscribe them to a list, and we want to add a tag to them. So that's our form. So it's created. Now, when someone signs up, if you wanted to trigger an automation, you could do that by clicking here. So when someone signs on this form, they're added to this automation. So we'll talk about automations after the form and pages, but that is something that you could do directly from the form. So there's a trigger automation button that you could use. And the other thing that you could do is integrate. So if you wanted to embed this form, you could just use this code here and embed it on your website. ActiveCampaign also has a WordPress plugin that you can download. So if you're using a WordPress website, you could download the plugin and choose this form from that plugin. It's really easy to use the plugin. You can just click on download plugin. You'll have to add they just say how you can add your form using the plugin. You can just, click on get started and learn more about that. But the easiest way is to just use this code to embed it on the website. So that's it. Your form has been created. Now let's talk about pages. So Pages is a pretty new or comparatively new feature in ActiveCampaign, and it's really awesome because now you don't really need to use, a different platform like, like ClickFunnels or something to create your landing page for getting people to sign up. You can do that directly with ActiveCampaign. So when you click on Pages, you have these options. There's templates. So this is basically if you've created any templates, those would be here. But for now, I'm just going to go to pages and click on add a new page. And you'll be able to see there are a bunch of templates available that you can use. So you don't even need to create a page from scratch. You can just choose one of these and get started. And there are different templates for different things that you want to do. So these are like thank you templates. So if you're creating a thank you page, you could use these. There's product template. I'm just going to use the lead generation template for now because I just want to show you how you can use this page to collect emails and get email subscribers. So we'll use the lead generation layout, but again, you can see there are tons of different templates. You have like uh, investing business related templates, plant kind of theme templates. You have like different theme templates that are really helpful depending on what your use case is. There's also like a pricing template. um, there's like a journal kind of template which can be you also used like almost as like a website, right? So tons of different things that you can do. You have like a sell your ebook template which you can use to sell ebooks. So tons of things again that you can do with these templates. So it's just saying creating. So I'm just going to wait for this and then we can look at how you can edit the templates. Okay, now I'm just going to name the page. So again, I'll just name it test and save. Now, when you see this page, there are tons of things you can do here. Like this, you can make this page really pretty, unlike the form where it was just, like a form and you just had to put that on your website. But you can do tons of things, images, uh, text, change color, font, everything. So you can add your logo here. You could just like add different text. You can change the background color, everything. So everything can be customized and it's all drag and drop. You don't need to use any code. So now this is a lead generation template, which means you're collecting email addresses here and it says add form here. So it's also telling you where you should be, adding a form to collect those emails. So I'm just going to click here and I'm going to look for form. So here is a form. I'm just going to drag and drop it here. So it says email. I'm just going to click on the form and you can add form fields here. You can choose the theme of the form or like how this should appear. And you can change your button kind of here, change the color. On submit, if you wanted them to open a different page. So if you're creating a thank you page using the pages feature, you could use that link here. I'm just going to say default. Default is probably just going to be, it's just going to say thank you for signing up. You can add shadows. you can also uh, like use a placeholder. So just let's say you want to say that this is email, so you could use that placeholder here. You could add form fields. So if you wanted them to add their first name, you could add that here. And then you can just change the sequence. So if you want first name first, you could just drag and drop it here. So this is how you would edit the form. And then, of course, you can edit the landing page, add images, add the text. And if you want to get out of this editing, just hit this like checkbox. And then you can also add more blocks. So if you wanted to add navigation, you could add that here. And then you could edit navigation. You could add more navigation items like shop or something. Or looks like let's add something. So yeah, you can do tons of things with this. And again, change background so colors, images, text, font, size, everything. So again, like the best way to create this page would be to actually go into ActiveCampaign and check this out, and try different options, see the template that works for you the best and use that. So I'm just going to hit publish page now, and then you have to choose the URL you want for this page. So the domain is going to be your ActiveCampaign domain. If you want to have a custom domain, you will have to upgrade your plan. So I'm just going to keep it the ActiveCampaign domain right now, and then at the end of this domain, the URL will be test. So I'm just going to keep this as is. If you wanted to save this landing page for future use as well, you could save it as a template. I'm just going to hit publish now. Okay, so now my landing page is created. The next thing that I want to show you is automation. So let's go into automations. So now we've created a form, we've created a landing page. So now we know how to collect email addresses. Automation is where you will be able to create automated email sequences that go out to people when they sign up on your landing pages or forms. So let's click on create an automation and get started. So I'm just going to hit create from scratch because I want to show you how to build this automation from scratch. The first thing you want to do is add a trigger. A trigger is basically when does this automation start? So when is someone added to this automation? So I'm going to choose submits a form. So if someone submits this test AC form that we created, I want them to get added to this automation. Now, when they get added to this automation, what do I want to do? I want to send them an email. So I'm going to select send email. And since I don't have any emails created yet, I will create an email. So I will name the email 1 because this is the first email that will go out once someone submits that form. I'm going to hit create. And when I do that, it's going to take me to campaigns because campaigns is where the emails live. Um, so I'm just going to create like you can either use a template or just like say start from scratch. So I'm just going to start from scratch and choose like a standard template. And this, I want it to say that it's coming from Shweta at digital products that sell. And this is going to be the email address, and the subject line is you signed up. So I'm just going to use that subject line and hit continue. So this is the email I think it's just like a templated email that's created, but of course you can edit everything. You can remove this image here, delete this. You can edit the text. You can add your logo if you wanted to. So you could just drag this image block here and add your logo, your business logo if you wanted to. You can edit this text, you can add a personalization here. So let's say you wanted to say, hey Shweta. So, hey, space, click on personalize and first name. So it'll show the first name of the person who's receiving this email. And then, of course, you can just edit text, everything. And then you can also, so let's say at the end of every email that you send, you want to add your signature. That's like maybe like an image of you in the corner here, and then it's some text here. So something like this. So you could create that for this email, and then you could save that to the content library and call it signature image, and save this part as well, signature text. So every time you create an email, after you're done with the email, all you have to do is go to saved, and under saved you'll have these two contents that you can just drag and drop here, and that text will appear here. So that's really helps to keep using content blocks so that you don't have to create the same thing again and again. So anyway, you can edit the email as you like, and then click on save and exit. So I have created the first email that I want them to receive. I'm going to hit save here. So it's taken me back to the automation. Now I want to wait for a day. So I've sent out this email. Now I want to wait. Now so when you click on this plus sign here, it'll show you these different options. I'm going to go to conditions and workflows and select wait. Wait for 1 day. Now after 1 day, if they have opened the email, I want to send them the next email. And if they haven't opened the email, I want to send them the same email again. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to add a condition. So the condition is an if else condition. So if uh, if they have opened this email, so email 1, if opened is yes, I want to send them a different email. So I'll go to sending options and click on email, and I'll create a new email which will be email 2. So this will go to them if they opened email 1, and it will go after 1 day because we waited for 1 day. I'm just choosing an email here just to show you for now. So I'm just going to save and exit. This is just the email that's going to go out. So email 2, save. So if they opened email 1, after 1 day, I'm checking if they have opened. If they opened yes, then I will send email 2. And if they did not open, I will send them email 1 again and save. Now after this, if they click, so I just want to show you how automations work, right? So this is really helping you personalize. So now you could put a condition here that if someone clicked in the email, so actions, if someone clicked on a link, then you didn't want to send them any more emails. So in this email too, if they clicked on a link, then you wanted to just like end the automation for them. So end this automation. But if they did not click the link, then you wanted to uh, send them another email maybe. So it could be email 3, right? Or you could also say that if they did not click on a link, I would wait for like 3 days and check again. So here again, I would check if they go to actions and clicked on the link in email too. So if after 3 days they still haven't clicked, or if they haven't clicked, which is like no, because this is for positive. So if clicked, yes. So if clicked no, then I would just like send them probably just a reminder, which would be like an email 3, which I'm not creating right now, but you get the point. And if they click, then again I want to like go to conditions and end the automation for them. And then here, if they didn't open my email, I send them email 1 again. Now here, if and else, if they didn't open this again, so email 1, if they did not open email 1, I want to just like end the automation for them and I don't want to send them a next email. If they did, then I would just like, I just want to uh, take them here. So I just selected go to, and here go to, oops. So I would just drag and connect this here. Yep, like this. So now what happens is, let's minimize it a little bit. So I send them an email, email 1, and I wait for a day. After 1 day, if they opened the email, they will get email 2. And if they did not open, they'll get email 1 again. If they did not open email 1 again, so I should add a wait here because you don't want to send emails like right after one another. So after 1 day, if they still do not open the email, I will end the automation for them. If they do open the email, I will take them right here again. Actually, I should be taking them here. I want to send them, so here, I want to send them uh email to, right? So here. So if they opened email 1 here, they would get email 2 and then they would go down this route as well. So this is how you would create automations. And again, like there's tons of things that you can do with this automation, but I just wanted to show you the most common kind of actions that you would use. You would want to use wait because you want some gap between emails, and you would also want to use conditions like if and else. So if someone has opened the email, if someone has clicked on the email, if someone has taken some action, so stuff like that. And then you would also want to use go to another action so that you don't have to create this entire set of emails here again. So that is all about automations. Again, I know automations can be a little complex, but if you have questions about automations, definitely let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to help. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is campaigns. We already kind of like saw how to create an email, but campaigns is basically when you're sending out one-off emails or like broadcast messages. So you would just select a campaign type. So if it's a date-based campaign, if you want to send a birthday email when it's someone's birthday, you would use this. I'm just going to let like just talk about the standard one. I'm just going to name it here and choose standard. And again, when you're sending out campaign emails, make sure you're naming them correctly, because when you have like a bunch of emails in your account, it kind of gets difficult to know which email is about what and which automation is about what tags are relevant. So make sure you name them appropriately. So now you have to select a list that you want to send out the emails to. So I'm just going to select this list. You can also choose a segment of the list. Right now, I don't have a segment, but let's say you wanted to send emails, as an example, only to someone who has a Gmail email address. You could add that as a condition here. I'm just going to hit next, and design is basically where you would design the email. We already saw how this would work, but again, you can add your subject line. Uh, you can add images, text, your signature. You can also add videos, tons of different blocks. You could add line breaks like this. Uh, and for each block, you can edit the blocks as well. So when you click on it, you have all of these edit options that you can use. So then you can design your email, and when you hit next, you can edit your subject, and of course you need a verified email address. I haven't verified that yet, but once that is done, only then you can start sending out emails. And then if you want to track you should definitely track opens. You should definitely track replies if you're letting people reply to you. And you can also just send out a test email to yourself to make sure the email looks good. And then just generally make sure you have a past for spam check, because if you have a fail here, your email will still go out, but there's a high probability that it might end up in the spam folder or the promotions folder. So just make sure that is passed. And you can also schedule it here. So if you wanted to send it out immediately, you would have the schedule as off. If you wanted to schedule it for later, you would have it as on, and then you can choose when you want to send it out, and that's it. You would just like save and exit, and that's how you would send out your one-off emails. So that's all about campaign. So we've spoken about like the main features in active campaign: your form, your landing page, your automations, and your campaigns. The one thing that I did want to talk about very briefly is conversations. So you can now use ActiveCampaign on your website, like they have it here like this. It's like a chat box almost. So for that, you have to set up conversations. To set up conversations under settings, you first have to make sure you have set up site tracking on your website. Um, so you want to make sure site tracking is enabled, and when the only way site tracking can be enabled is you have to add your website here. So I'm going to add my website, add the website, and you want to enable site tracking, and you will have to enable conversations to have this chat box feature on your website. To make sure site tracking is active, you will have to install code on your website. So this is the code that you will have to add to the footer of your website. Once you do that, your site tracking is going to be enabled, and conversations feature is also going to be enabled. Conversations is, again, like I said, it's going to be like a chat box. You will have to enable conversations. You will have to set up the channel. So it's going to be web chat. So on your website, you can have business hours, or you can say always available. You'll have to set up a welcome message. So if someone comes on the website, what is it going to say? It could say, "Hey there, how can I help?" So this is how it's going to appear on your website right at the bottom. You can of course change the colors and just hit publish. So now when you add that code on your website, this is going to start appearing on your website. And then you can have some automation. So if someone sends you a message on your website, you can, have this automation there that please enter your email address. This is helpful if you're offline, and if an agent or someone on your team is not online to answer questions. But like just a very basic of how conversations work in active campaign, I will probably do a more detailed video about conversations, but I just wanted to make sure you know that this feature is now available in active campaign, and you don't need an external platform like intercom or Facebook Messenger, for example, for having this chat box on your website. So I hope this helps. We covered the very basics and foundational pieces of ActiveCampaign. If you have any questions about the platform, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much. If you found this video helpful, I would love for you to subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.